go to any of these places.
Let's go to the Game Room Studios here in Pittsburgh, where we filmed all of the episodes of Game Room. Right here. This is should be a historic landmark for the state of Pennsylvania. Maybe it will be. I'm not sure. We're still petitioning. This is the actual camera that was used to film all of the Game Room episodes. And I'm pretty sure this could sell on eBay right now for $500,000, maybe double that if we signed it. Here we have the green screen that we would project all of our stupid Game Room backgrounds on. And this is pretty highly advanced. It's a piece of painted plywood. Actually, 4 pieces of painted plywood. Don't want to get technical. Yeah, things really changed for us when we got this green screen. No longer was it just a cheap studio. Now it was a cheap studio with a piece of green painted plywood.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice picture because it doesn't have to be centered. The jambalaya of drugs.
As the Game Room was running for its first few months, we eventually did get a budget, which was $50 an episode, which we usually spend on the game itself. Sometimes if we didn't spend the $50 on the game, for instance, if we reviewed an Atari game that we already owned, we could take that $50 and put it into our budget for the next episode and have a $100 budget. Now with $100, we could do some pretty amazing things, which brings me to one of the most expensive and extravagant Game Room episodes of all times. This is like the Waterworld or Cleopatra of Game Room episodes. Sega GT.
Oh! Yeah! That's right. Haha. Drink, 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 drink. That's right. That sauce is
You know,
good.
this doesn't look that hard. I'm telling you, we could do this for real.
Probably could.
We don't need to do video games. Let's just go.
The steering wheel's a lot easier than the controller.
Let's take it outside.
Let's go.
You want to do
I'll
it?
take you in my car.
Come on.
All right.
Go.
Let's go.
To the car.
it's one of those weird days, like when you walk outside and it starts raining antelope, that it's weird. It's like the game room's actually going to give you a real hardcore, in-depth game review today rather than just shooting each other with assault rifles and drinking beer and throwing it at each other. Which, granted, we're really good at. Don't get me wrong. That's going to continue. However, you're getting into one of my favorite genres of all time, the racing game. And it's time to get critical. It's also time to give a lot of praise because Sega GT is a pretty kick-ass game.
But it ain't perfect.
Yeah, let's check out some footage here. I got a lot of things to talk about with Sega GT. A lot of improvements you can make, like adding in the Subaru Brat and the El Camino, or at least the body style, so I can put them on my cars. But let's check out the footage here.
First thing I want to point out about this game is that about 5-6 seconds into it, we had to shut down the music because it is horrible.
It's like sticking ice picks in your ears and listening to at the same time.
It's really, really that bad. I mean, it's just unbelievable how bad the music is. It's like every single Sega racing game that's ever come out since the Saturn days has just been shitty, just terrible. I don't get it.
The music.
The music, that's what I meant.
This is an excellent racing game, and the driving is for the most part, right on.
Let's get the negatives out of the way here real quick. Now, the interface on this game is really bad. You do eventually figure it out, but the problem is that say you're trying to go sell a car, you win a car, you want to sell it, so you go to the car dealership, you go to the sell option, and you figure you'd be able to like pull down a list of all your cars,
and
so you
just
can
sell
them off real quick. No.
Yeah.
You have to go back to the main menu, select that car,
get in it,
go back,
drive over to the dealership,
haggle
haggle with the businessman,
and then get a taxi back.
Then finally sell. And you can't even strip your cars and sell them for drugs.
No.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Here's the car dealerships. There's not as many games, as many
cars
as Gran Turismo 2. But
you do get to make cars, which is the key feature of this game.
Here's the factory.
Hey, you can pretty much do anything to this car you want to.
And the key is that no matter what you do, it all makes a difference on how it actually handles. If you make a mid-engine car, you can feel the difference as opposed to if you put a front-engine, four-wheel drive car. But I did like the fact that I could name my cars. So I got to drive the
that's a beautiful
the
thing.
Mac 10, the El Camino, the AK-47, the Mad Dog. These are all great car names that they should really have. The reason Gran Turismo is a little bit better than Sega GT is generally the cars feel better. They handle a little more responsive. Also, you have a greater selection of cars.
Yeah, you have like 500 plus cars in the last Gran
One
Turismo,
other thing,
right?
the tracks are 10 times better in Gran Turismo than they are in Sega GT. If you own a Dreamcast, absolutely buy it. You can build your own cars, and you bring them out in races, and the races are extremely challenging.
Yeah.
But you'll be so preoccupied being able to make cars called the Subaru Brat 2, which I made, and the Super El Camino, and the Magic 8 Ball. I mean, these are all car names that should really exist today.
And they're totally feasible, but, some people that, I don't know why they think, like, Super Pimp, the car, should be illegal.
I'm sure that every soccer mom wants a car called the Badass Motherfucking 8-Ball Shifter.
Who wouldn't? Come on.
But you generally haven't played a cool racing game until you're able to like break it down into such specifics as having four-wheel drive with your front engine, with the mid-engine, rear engine. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's fun. Did that make any sense at all?
It made perfect sense if I were listening.
So go get Sega GT, because if you drove like this in real life, you'd
die.